that we showed from SC, none of them could do this. He is an elite running back. Hubert, you've got to bring your arms. You've got to bring everything when you're trying to tackle this guy. He really is.
There are a lot of special quarterbacks in this draft class, but one stands alone at the top of the mountain, deservedly so. Caleb Williams might be the closest thing to Patrick Mahomes we've seen since he broke into the league, and I'm not really being hyperbolic.
Brendan Rice up top, Washington in the slot. Williams was looking there, closed off, comes back. Boy, that head is on a swivel. It is really impressive. And now a touchdown throw.
Let me explain. Of course, I am not comparing to Patrick Mahomes right now, but are there massive similarities between the two coming out of college and starting their NFL careers? Parallels are pretty scary. Let's dive straight into a scouting overview of Caleb Williams. Williams is a 22-year-old junior from the University of Southern California, formerly of University of Oklahoma, where he famously broke mine and other Longhorn hearts viciously when he made his college debut. That game was just the beginning for the young quarterback, who has gone on to ascend to the top of the mountain of college football through his blend of insane arm talent, incredible improvisational skills, athleticism, and rare football instincts. What obviously stands out about Williams when you turn on the tape is how twitched up and explosive he is, from his legs to an arm. He has incredible balance, hip fluidity, change of direction skills, which makes him dangerous in creative scenarios and allows him to make throws from almost any platform. The ball explodes out of his hand, and he has some of the most ridiculous velocity you'll ever see from a quarterback. His field vision and ability to see throws that other people simply cannot fathom is part of what makes him special. Some of the throws he makes are simply unreal, but at the same time, his vision can be a little bit of a detriment, which we'll talk about a little bit later in the video. In the beginning of this breakdown, I believed his pocket presence was actually pretty bad. But the more I studied the tape, the more I started to realize it was possibly one of his greatest strengths. USC offensive line and scheme were pretty disappointing. He was constantly being asked to hang in the pocket for 5 or 6 seconds, despite having a really, really bad offensive line and a not so special supporting cast. And he grew so comfortable evading pressure and navigating messy pockets. He's also been quite amazing at realizing when the throw won't have time to get open, escaping the pocket. And this is where another half of his comparison comes in. His pocket escapability and the way that he bounces around back there reminds me a lot of Russell Wilson. The speed turns, the rollouts, the ability to throw on the run and make plays in the open field are very reminiscent of prime Russell Wilson back in his days in Seattle. Getting to the weaknesses, and of course there are some, there are, of course, legitimate concerns about Williams' ability to play in structure, and some of these really are warranted, especially in the Notre Dame game, which we'll break down a little bit later in the video. We'll see that there are times he is way too quick to break out of the pocket and make things happen out of structure. However, it's also pretty clear to me that the USC offense was kind of a mess. Receivers were rarely open on time, routes were taking too long to develop, and the offensive line was a sieve. Put simply, there were just too many times when he had to play outside the structure because the structure sucked. So I'm not sure there's much of a concern on my end about his ability to play in structure because we haven't really seen him play in structure very often. In a bit more concerning level, there are times where I think his exceptional vision and creativity gets him into trouble. And there are going to be times when he's going to have to rein it in a little bit. He sees throws that no one else sees, and because of the insane talent he has, he just lets it fly. And sometimes that means he throws across his body in double coverage for interceptions. But you're going to have to live with it, because what's really scary about Caleb Williams is that there are times when he absolutely does hit those crazy throw across his body throws in double coverage. What he needs to learn is when he should make that throw and when he shouldn't. Accuracy for me is a little bit of a concern as well. He's obviously capable of hitting some hole shots, but he does have what I consider some fundamental issues. When the feet aren't quite set when they could be, or when he rushes his motion, even when he doesn't have to, he misses the target. That being said, those are probably two of the more easily fixed accuracy issues that I've seen on his tape. Speaking of the tape, let's turn it on. This play is going to be a little bit sad for our short kings out there, but this is just an example of his allegedly 6'1" height being a little bit of a problem for Williams. Here, he's going to take the snap, and you are going to see right here, he sees his open guys, and he wants to throw it, but he can't. Why? Because someone jumps right up into his face, and he just doesn't have the height to throw over that guy. He tries to get around, he tries to go out and find a throwing lane, but he just can't. We'll watch it again from this angle, and you'll see it here. The height is just a little bit of an issue. He can't throw between those guys because he's not quite tall enough. Because of that, he's forced to eat a sack. On this next play, we're going to get a little bit of an example of why I think Williams has a little bit of a ways to go anticipation-wise. We're going to see here, if you watch the slot receiver, he breaks open right here. And if you watch Williams, he's going to pump. He's been watching it the whole way. He pumped. He wants to throw it. If he had ripped it when he had wanted to throw it, he probably could have squeezed it in there. Is it a hole shot? Absolutely. It is a hole shot. That is a difficult throw to make. But a throw that I believe someone of Williams' talent should absolutely make. Let's watch it again. You can see Williams, he rides it, looks at it right there. He sees it. It's open. If he throws it right there, look how far away the safety is. When you see it from this angle, you can see what I'm talking about. Look how far away Cole Bishop is from making this play. You would have a lot of ground to cover. If Williams rips it right there and just throws with some anticipation, he pumps it. He wants to throw it. But then he's too late, and now he's screwed. And he takes a sack. And there's just a little bit of an anticipation issue there that I've noticed with Williams, where I think he maybe has been coached by Lincoln Riley that, hey, I'm Lincoln Riley, I'm an offensive genius, which I think is debatable at this stage. So it's going to be wide open. And when it's not, you see a little bit of hesitation in his game. You see a little bit of indecisiveness. You see some anticipation problems. Now, is it an anticipation problem if you see it and you don't throw it? I don't know. I'll leave that up to the experts. But in my opinion, that throw demonstrates what I've seen a little bit too much from Williams, where he will see these things. Because like I said, he has exceptional field vision. He will see these routes come open. But he's just sometimes a little bit reluctant to pull the trigger. And you really don't want to see that. Now, we've all seen this play. Caleb Williams tries to hit a fadeaway to the tight end, and he just doesn't put enough mustard on it. And this is kind of what I mean when I talk about his vision being a detriment and a huge advantage. There's not a lot of quarterbacks that fake this, write it, and then with someone in their face still have the wherewithal to try to squeeze it to this tight end right there. But he doesn't quite put enough mustard on it. And it's somewhere where I think in a perfect world, he sees it and he doesn't throw it. You gotta just eat that sack. And I think because he has such a special arm, he knows he has such a special arm. He knows he can hit that throw. It's hard for him to see it come open and then just say, oh no, I'm just gonna eat it. Because he knows he can make that throw. He's Caleb Williams. We've seen him make throws like this, but instead, he doesn't put enough on it. He overthrows it. It's a pick, and it's almost a pick six. Vision being a detriment. See it right there. Sometimes you just got to eat your losses. And I would have liked to see him maybe eat that loss a little bit more than he did last time. Here we're going to see another example of that, of just not wanting to let the play die and letting his playmaking probably be a problem for him. Here, you either got to try to run it or eat it. What you cannot do, what you absolutely cannot do, is throw it into double coverage for an interception. This was a backbreaker for USC. This was when the game really started to get out of hand. You gotta see this guy coming over the top. You have to see that this is going to be an interception. And while I love Caleb Williams and I love that he saw this throw and he saw, ooh, maybe I can hit that because I'm so talented. Sometimes you just got to eat your losses, man. Sometimes you just got to take one on the chin. That's one he absolutely should have taken on the chin. Instead, he throws what almost winds up being a pick six. Here we're going to again see Williams get a little bit frustrated, want to force a play, knows that he's an elite playmaker and he can make this throw. He sees his guy sit down. He thinks, fuck it, I got this. Instead, he just misses everybody and throws straight into double coverage. I don't really know what he saw there. I don't know what he was thinking there. And this is what a lot of people say when they say he needs to rein in his playmaking. You can see it what he saw. He saw this guy breaking open on the cross. He knows he has the talent to hit that. What he doesn't see is that number 21 is sitting right there, ready to just swoop, or number 20, I'm sorry, to just come in and swoop him. But this is the blessing and the curse of having the field vision that Caleb Williams has. You look at the eyes. He sees it. He sees it right there. He says, fuck it. I'm Caleb Williams. I'm going to fucking rip it. And it's, a bad decision. There's no other way to say it. It's a bad decision. It's not a great throw. Now, let's not think that everything with Caleb Williams is doom and gloom. And let's also not think that he can't operate outside of the structure of an offense. I want to show you guys a great play within the structure of an offense. Caleb Williams is going to read this ride. He's looking over here. He doesn't really like what he sees, so he works back to number 3, which is this tight end coming up on this skinny post. He's going to see it. He's going to dink it over the top of this linebacker. Pretty. Very pretty throw within the structure of the offense. He is more than capable of hitting these throws. Throwing with touch, accuracy, and timing, going from 1 to 2 to 3. Ooh, that's nice. And you see that from Williams far more often than not. I think that the allegations of Williams being unable to play within the structure of an offense are a little bit overblown. There's a lot of plays like this on tape where he is very much playing within the structure of an offense and throwing some really, really pretty balls with touch, anticipation, timing, and accuracy, all within the structure of an offense. Very good by Williams. Now we're just going to give you back-to-back wicked arm angled shots. Look at that. Ooh, look at that. Just leaning back and whipping it. That is, ooh, it doesn't look impressive. It doesn't look hard, but trust me, that is hard to do. That is some special stuff from Williams. Here we get to see it again. It's a nice little sidearm into a throwing line. And this is why it's important. Some people will say, well, why is it important that he can throw with different angles? Because it allows him to do this, to manipulate, especially for someone his size, to manipulate his arm so that he can throw around number 27 and squeeze this ball into a window that frankly should have been caught. Even the receiver thought that this pass was going to get batted down. He gave up on it. He quit. But this is why arm angle manipulation is so important. It's because it allows you to work around defenders as opposed to just throwing it straight into their fucking head. And now, ladies and gents, the creme de la creme. Again, why it's so important. Look at him just lean around the edge here to complete the screen. I mean, come on. This is an incredible, incredible play. So simple, and yet, being able to lean out there and just whip it around the edge like that, that's some special stuff. That ability to throw from multiple arm angles like that and make it look so easy with so much gas, that's some special arm talent right there. Now we get to see some special deep ball accuracy and some special processing from Williams. You see that he's reading out here. His first read is Brendan Rice over here, number 2 on the backside. Williams very quickly comes off of it. But by holding his eyes over here and then making a quick decision to throw, he holds this guy right here. It freezes this safety. It puts him in no man's land. Right now, he is covering no one. He isn't covering him. He isn't covering him. And by holding his eyes over here and then flipping it over the last second and ripping it, this guy's screwed. He's got no chance. And can we just appreciate the beauty of this throw? From his 39, easy gas, all the way to the 5. Oof. Let's watch it one more time. Watch the eyes. That's what's so important here. And watch how quick he makes a decision. From bam to here. He sees it immediately. It takes a little hitch and rips it. Great vision, great anticipation, great processing. Now, finally, we get to see what really gets people excited about Williams. His ability to pass and run. His tape is littered with runs like this, but look how smooth of a runner he is. Just a smooth operator. Fakes it, reads it, holds his blocks, touchdown. Caleb Williams is a special guy, man. He's obviously not a perfect prospect. He's got plenty of improvements to make, but this is a quarterback with some of the best tools I've ever seen. And man, if he can put it together, we might be looking at the next great NFL quarterback. Hope you enjoyed this top 5 breakdown of my top 5 NFL quarterbacks in the upcoming draft class. I will be putting out one final video with the best of the rest, so to speak. If you want that, leave a comment down below and we will get that out to you as soon as I can. Otherwise, top 5 is complete. Thanks for enjoying this ride with me. Everybody have a good time.
So cool to see Dye ever present, encouraging his teammates.
Caleb Williams keeps the ball, keeps his feet.